On the old vintage kit again. It's an MIJ, which means made in Japan. Probably a Sears robot kit from the 60s. Anyway, these things aren't worth much. Maybe $250 for the kit. I don't know. But, I find all these old Zildjians and, I got some great hi-hats here that have Manny's stamped on them, which would be considered lightweight cymbals. And I picked up this here 18-inch, I think it's a Crash. The guy put some rivets in it, and I kind of like it with the right sticks. You get a nice, And then I have this amazing 11-inch thin, I think it's it's in the thin splash, probably from the 30s or 40s. Never seen anything like this in 50 years of playing. And I picked up this really nice 50s. I think it's probably a Crash ride, but more of a ride. I think it would fall into the medium line of today's standards. But then a couple of years ago, while searching through Guitar Center's online cymbal thing, this was probably about 6 years ago, I came across a Swish Knocker. And this is amazing. I mean, it's got 6 rivets, probably dates back to the 50s or 60s. I looked for one of these for probably 30 years. And there I find it on Guitar Center's online inventory, and this thing's amazing. And the reason they made them so good back then is because they put less rivets. Like I said, this has 6, and today's has 20, which actually mutes the cymbal. So the new Swish Knocker, they redesigned it and called the Mel Lewis Swish. It's just a nightmare. I had it, it sounded horrible. So here you got some great hi-hats, and then these lovely cymbals. I mean, they sound great together. You got and they all work together and well. And you want to try to sell something like this now. I posted it on a marketplace and a bunch of drum sites, and I get all these idiots, these people who are just lowballing scumbags. That's what they do. They try to underbid on stuff, and some douchebag offered me like $250 for all this, and I didn't even respond because, first of all, there's a couple cymbals here I wouldn't sell for $250 alone, let alone for the whole kit. So another point is, it doesn't pay to have nice stuff to try to sell it now unless you want to take a loss. I've collected for years and had to scour, New York State just for what I have here. And I decided, screw it. You're going to always end up having these scumbags try to lowball you. I haven't had any decent business lately for the past 4 years because COVID literally destroyed everything. And now prices on gear has gone up. So this is funny. While gear is going up because, inflation, which makes no sense to me, all these people selling stuff online think they're going to just raise their prices automatically. So the market's pretty much dead. It sucks now. You can't find stuff reasonably cheap. The days of finding cool stuff like this are long gone, And heck, if I was to sell all this, I don't think I could, because I won't even get close to the price I want. And that would be considered too high by many. And, it's just not even worth it. But, if you're going to go out and collect stuff nowadays, I would keep it. I wouldn't try to sell it unless you want to try to make $10-20 off your stuff, because people aren't buying anything. And, this is my little rant for the day. But the drum kit itself, I like. I'm going to keep them. I'm just going to keep them. I'm never going to see anything like this again in my lifetime. Never, because, like I said, as of 4 years ago, business just stopped. Finding stuff like this used to be pretty common, 5, 6 years ago. They would be laying in people's garages or under a blanket. Sometimes you get lucky to go to a garage sale, but not anymore. People get on the computer and they see, oh, geez, there's a name here. It might say, like Ajax or Majestic. And they'll go and they'll do their little research on vintage drums, and now they're putting out crazy prices for stuff like this. I've seen kits, just the drums alone, in a 4-piece fashion like this sell for like right now $500 to $600. That's just outrageous, But that's what people are asking. Nobody's selling stuff, that's of course, but I decided I'm just gonna stop trying to sell anything too, because what's the sense, Enjoy the stuff. Life is short. I have a blast with my stuff. I have a bunch of vintage kits, and I don't think it's time to get rid of them. It probably will never be time to get rid of them, but these sound pretty good, and I'm going to enjoy them. So, as I said, if you come across stuff like this, I would hold on to it. Not that I'm an expert, but it makes no sense, at least where I live, to sell stuff anymore, because people are they're not respectful how they conduct business any longer, and everybody's out just to screw one another over. This is all I've ever come across for the past 10 years, but I do have a community of folks I deal with, and we're local, and we keep it simple and real and do our trading, so that I'll never stop doing. I'm not going to even bother trying to sell to people anymore, because it just makes no sense. Honestly, if I were to put a price on this with the cymbals, it probably would be up there in $1,000, because, I'm thinking vintage stuff from the 70s, 60s, 50s, even in the 40s here. This stuff's worth easily $600, $500 for a cymbal set like this. You just can't find stuff like this anymore. It just took me a long time to acquire it, so I'm sure as hell not going to give it away. Well, y'all have a good one. Happy drumming to y'all.